Uh, so just 1 second, we're going to invite some individuals into the room and we'll be all set to go. I want to make sure I can see it live on my end first, and then, yep, okay, there we go. And then I'm going to share this here in just a second. Hmm. Mm. How we feeling out there? There it goes. There we go. Do you see it like
I do. I just tried to share it now
okay.
on my feed.
Okay. And I'm gonna tag you in it too. There we go. I see we have some folks on the line. If you could tell us where you are tuning in from, we would love to see who's here with us. And I'm just going to share this into our event page and then we will get started. Yes. Okay. All right.
Oh, let's see.
Okay.
Mm-mm-mm.
Perfect. Hello, Tiff. How are you? So good to see you. And I think maybe it's one of your friends, Aisha. Is it Aisha? Aisha Moore? Hughes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Aisha. I don't know who's on,
You
so
don't know who's on. I'm the only one that knows who's on, but that is okay. I got everything covered here. I got everything covered.
thanks for joining, Aisha.
Hey, Erin, you're in San Leandro, California. I like saying that.
That's right.
Yes. So we're going to go ahead and get started because we understand that, we ladies, we have things to do throughout the day and throughout the evening, whether we have kids or other commitments. But I want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Coach's Kitchen this evening, where breakthrough is always on the burner. I'm your host, Leslie Nicole, life strategist, empowerment coach, and what I like to call your favorite soul chef. This is where ambitious women like you come to unpack what's simmering beneath the surface, from purpose to power moves, healing to high stakes leadership. Y'all, this is not fast food healing. This is slow, sacred work that sticks. You know, your crock pot that you have in the kitchen. So I want you to pull up a seat, bring your whole self, and let's stir up something real. So on tonight's episode, we're talking to none other than my friend Iguehi James, founder, CEO, and what she likes to call herself, the chief designer of Love Iguehi. Do you see this beautiful piece? We'll talk about that later. She has built a brand that weaves bold African prints with modern design, inviting women to express their truest selves. But behind every stitch, there's a story of resilience. Iguehi is a first generation Nigerian American who grew up navigating the intersection of two cultures and found her voice through fashion. And let me tell you, this girl, I always tease her. I'm like, girl, you can put on a trash bag and look fine, girl. But yeah, I'm serious. She can make a trash bag look like it is just like something out of Project Runway. But anyway, as the founder of Love Iguehi, she merges bold African prints with contemporary silhouettes, encouraging women like you to embrace vibrant self-expression. At the heart of her mission is the desire to foster warm, welcoming spaces where everyone feels accepted, free to laugh, and celebrate together. She likes to have fun, y'all. With no formal training, did y'all hear that? No formal training, and driven by a spirit of curiosity and perseverance, Iguehi taught herself to design and sew garments, building a brand rooted in community, quality, and cultural pride. And driven by her commitment to being a nurturing mother, she's also eager to show her daughters that it's possible to follow an unconventional path and succeed through passion and hard work. Iguehi, I am so happy that you have joined us this evening and or this afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Leslie. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you more, honey. I appreciate you more. So, first and foremost, outside of Love Iguehi, we'll get to that. But I want to talk about like just who you are. Like, who is Iguehi James in your own words? Like, how do you describe yourself?
How would I describe myself? I describe myself as um, someone who is bold and confident and likes to have a good time, is authentically myself. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a believer,
Yeah.
I'm a friend, a sister, someone who really values relationships and people.
Hmm.
Um, I said I like to have a good time. I will shut down a party. I will
She
shut
likes to dance.
down.
Get it in.
But
Get
I'm
it in.
also yeah, like also someone who like wants the people around me to also have a good time,
Right.
and enjoy any space that I share with them. So someone who cares, an empath. I'm really committed to community service, community work, and really just uplifting and creating a space where people, and especially women, feel loved,
Mhm.
feel celebrated, and feel seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrated and seen. Now, the title of this episode is Sewn with Love, Threads of Healing from Loss to Legacy. So I told everybody we're gonna get a little deep tonight, but it speaks to something deeply personal to you. So what does threads of healing mean to you?
Um, I think with most people, they experience some kind of pain, some kind of loss. And it's often easier to offer condolences, to offer prayers, to offer some kind of show of sympathy, of care to
Mm-hmm.
someone else who experienced loss.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you're in the position where you're the one experiencing loss, it really humbles you. And you often have a different perspective of how you react to the news. I know we're going to talk about, I don't know if we're talking about it now, but I know we're going
You
to talk,
can pivot whenever you want to.
yeah, talk about losses that I've experienced and just how through life you're going to experience ups and downs,
Yeah,
no matter who you are,
yeah.
no matter what your financial status is, no matter who you're connected to, you're going to experience loss at some point. And so it's a matter of like, how do you react to that loss and how do you take that pain um, and turn it to purpose? And I
Mm,
think that from my experience and some of the pain that I experienced, again, with miscarriages and
mm,
just losses in that sense, it has made me now a resource for other women who may be experiencing the same thing. And it came in a way that was totally unexpected. I was very vulnerable and I kind of shared what I was going through, not realizing that my story would really free some women to really speak about their
mm,
experiences because a lot of us live, um, we live quietly in pain. We kind of, suffer in silence. And
mhm,
so that is how kind of pain has and loss has kind of weaved into my story that I didn't anticipate and has really
mhm.
drawn women closer to me.
Yeah.
And so we had that unfortunate shared experience, but it is something that has brought me closer and created a new sense of community that I did not necessarily sign up for membership to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to, I mean, grief, loss of friendships, loss of children, loss of family members, friends. Oh my goodness. So well, first of all, let's go back to the community that you built.
Mhm.
Um, so I say this, I swear I say this very often that, our obedience is connected to so many other people's destinies
Mm.
or our purpose. If we're not really operating in our purpose, are we really being obedient to what the calling on our life? And
Mhm.
so, our healing is not necessarily just It's not for ourselves. And not saying that everyone has to be on a platform telling all their business. But why did you really decide um, to share initially about your miscarriages? Yeah, why did you decide to do that?
Um, so immediately when I was going through it, I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
The first time happened when I was in Chicago, and
Mm,
that one was really traumatic. Partly because I was showing, and we attended a really big church, and we were pretty active in the church, and people were just so excited. Perrin and I had been married for 4 years, or maybe, yeah, 4 years by that time. And we had been trying and trying and trying. So there were members of the church who knew that we were trying. So when
mm,
we finally became pregnant, it was just like this celebration. I felt like this baby was going to be everybody's baby because everybody was cheering for us.
yeah.
Um, and so I was showing I had a belly, uh,
Hmm.
a pretty protruding belly. And I remember when we found out that there was no heartbeat, I still had to fly home to
Hmm.
California to celebrate my mom's birthday. And so the people at the birthday party were also congratulating me and really excited, but they didn't know, yeah, that the baby was no longer vital, but I was carrying the child.
Yeah.
And when I tell you the depression I felt
Mm,
after that loss, I felt like I was in a dark hole. Like I literally, it was the most humbling, most devastating. To be honest, I was angry. I was angry with God because I was like, you said get married first.
mm.
We got married
And
first.
then you did this.
How do you do me like this, God? I was angry. I was really angry for a while. I didn't want to go to church. One, it was almost like this embarrassment I had, and so I just felt like I don't know, like, what could I have done? I don't know what I could have done, but I think, like a lot of women, we kind of put it on us, like, dang, we couldn't even carry this baby. So I was really, really sad. And over time, and talking to people, like my intimate circle, I realized that there were other women who had experienced something similar, and I didn't know until I was going through my process. And
Mhm.
so one day, I just decided to make a post on Facebook and kind of share that I, experienced we lost the baby.
Mm.
And when I tell you my message, I don't even know if we had like DMs or we called it
Oh,
DM
no.
then, but people were messaging me like, oh my God, I'm part of that same club too. And I'm like, really? And people are like telling me these stories. I had one person in particular send me a message and say, I am actively miscarrying right now.
Mm.
I'm literally just waiting for the baby to pass, but we know that we have already lost the baby. When I tell you, I was like, my God. So every year they do something on, social media makes all these like, today is Daughter's Day, today is da, da, da. So they do have like the Rainbow Baby Day, and I always share my story, and it's always the same thing. People are surprised. People are like, oh my God, me too. Oh, you know, when you were going through this, how did you want people to support you? Because my sisters actually experienced it too, and I don't know how to be there for her. And
Mm.
so um the original reason is why I shared is because I didn't know so many people had also experienced it until I went through it, and I realized that me sharing my story will also let people know that they're not alone.
Mhm.
It's not their fault.
Mm.
It's an unfortunate club that we did not sign up for, but somehow we got membership into.
Mhm.
And so, I just want to be a source of support for other people who may be sharing a similar experience to me.
Mhm. And was it cathartic for you as well? Like to just, was that part of your healing? Um,
I think it's part of my healing. To be honest, to this day, I still haven't looked at my son's handprints. They took his handprints. Um, so we have a box that the hospital they prepared a little box for us and had little the nurses like made it a blanket and all that. And I still haven't opened it to this day.
wow.
So I don't know that I'm fully healed. There'll be times that I randomly like think about it and I cry. And that was the first loss. And so I tell people all of my babies are rainbow babies. My twins, I experienced a miscarriage before we conceived them. And I was here in California.
Mhm.
And it just brought up that, memories of what I experienced the first time.
Mhm.
Thankfully, I was here with my parents. And my mom she was just come and lay in the bed with me because I didn't have the energy to get up out of bed. I mean, she was like, "Hey, you got to get up and shower." I would
Yeah.
go and I'm like, I don't have it in me to get up out of this bed. I don't have it in me to take a shower.
Yeah.
She was like, maybe you should just take a shower and put on some clothes, even if you don't go anywhere. And I realized like even just the act of putting on clean clothes helped.
Yeah.
Like it helped, but it's really took someone being like, okay, go ahead, you got this. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to leave the house, but you should get up and just splash some water on your face. So it's
So
a
it was a
process.
process. It's a
It's a
process.
process. It's a process. And it hits you like at the most random times. I feel like even with the passing of my mother-in-law and I see my husband and time has passed, but it'll be random times that he will just break out crying. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think it'll ever end.
Mhm.
It'll never go away. It does, for me, it's definitely gotten easier. And it helps. I have other kids, but
Mhm.
there's always like the what would have been, or I get questions, parent and I get questions all the time. I'm at the place where I can joke about it, but people are like, you guys gonna try it for a boy? And I'm like, oh, we're good. If they keep pushing, I'm like, well, we had one, we lost one. And it just makes for
Mhm.
very awkward. But I'm just like, you just don't know.
You
You
don't
don't
know,
you don't know what people have gone through. So yeah.
which is another reason, off topic, why we really shouldn't assume what people are going through and mind your business. But
Yeah. Yeah. I like to believe that a lot of people are well intentioned. I do tend to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that had I not gone through it, I wouldn't have been as sensitive, right?
yeah,
To
I
those
see.
type of questions. And so if someone hasn't experienced that kind of loss, they're not trying to be mean. They just don't know, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so sometimes it takes those uncomfortable situations like, hey, well, yeah, I did have a son, we lost him, for people to be like, okay, yeah, so I'm gonna just fall back. I'm gonna let that one go.
I'm gonna let that go. So during that time, in Chicago, because that's when that's when we met. We met at the church. We actually met at a women's camp. We were in the woods, but
Yeah.
and I was like, "Who is this fly girl walking up in here like that?" That was
Aw.
it was you. The long, beautiful locks. You inspired me to lock my hair. Yeah, it was you.
Oh.
So, but in Chicago, I believe you were still working in corporate
Mhm.
America at that
Mhm.
time. And then, like, what caused you to be like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk away. So, how in the world
I
did you
know.
make that decision to walk away and launch Love Iguehi
So in Chicago, I always tell the story of like I wasn't sewing, I wasn't designing, I was just getting myself dressed
and
and
bad at it?
just getting myself dressed. So I worked in corporate America I went to school in North Carolina and worked ever since then, kind of in the healthcare field. That's what I was doing in Chicago. Came to the Bay Area, continued working in the healthcare industry. And at that time, this was back in 2000 and I was Taylor 13. So around 2014, people were really getting into African prints and African skirts. Like that was like the thing. And I
Mhm.
remember looking at the stuff and saying, like, geez, these are like materials and prints that I grew up seeing. Like we wore these to parties, and people like Americans are wearing this stuff. So I must have got on the internet, like, let me go buy something. I was like, wait a minute.
Hold up.
They're charging a lot of money for this. a lot. I said, well, let me see if I can learn how to sew this myself. So I literally got on YouTube, went down a rabbit hole, as we often do. I went down a rabbit hole, start watching a bunch of videos about how to thread a sewing machine because I didn't even know how to thread a sewing machine. How to thread a sewing machine, how to sew, how to change the the thread, how to what is a serger? When I tell you I had no knowledge of anything. And so I just went down a rabbit hole of finding different YouTubers who were teaching tutorials on how to sew. And I would
Mm,
stay up. I would go to work at night and I would, tend to Taylor because I only had one at the time, tend to her and my husband. And then at night, after she went to sleep, I would just get on the computer and I would have my sewing machine that my parents just happened to have.
mhm.
And I would just sew and I would follow what they do. And that's how
Mhm.
Love Iguehi started. I just start sewing as a hobby. And then people were like, oh, I want to buy what you're making. I'm like, really? What I made? So then it became a side hustle. So I was working full time, coming home and sewing. Then I had the twins. And I said, oh Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna do all this. And then parent goes, bet on yourself. So I'm like, what does that
Mm,
mean? He's like, bet on yourself. You love what you're doing with the sewing, right? I'm like, yeah. He was like,
mm.
yeah, quit your job. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, bet on yourself. I was like, all right. And I ain't been
Wow.
back since. So, I've been betting on myself and it hasn't been easy. Let me tell you, it has not. But it definitely has been rewarding and it's been exciting and challenges challenge me in ways I didn't expect. But
Mm,
it's also opened up a lot of opportunities and birthed a lot of new friendships and new relationships that I
mhm.
wouldn't have had had I just stayed in my 9 to 5. So that is kind of the story of how we started. It's been a wild ride.
Well, how has Love Iguehi, so like the designing, the creating, the building, the learning, how has that become part of your healing process? And or has it been part of your healing
Oh,
process?
it has. And I think what I didn't realize, well, I did know that I like to work with my hands.
Okay.
I used to braid in high school. I used to braid in college. That's how I had my little
That
spinning.
side hustle. Yep.
I've always been a little
That
hustler.
ain't money.
Think about it until later, but so I've always liked to work with my hands, and I realized that sewing allowed me to really zone out, and it
Mm,
became very therapeutic for me to the point where I wouldn't sleep, and parents like, "Hey, you got to get, you got to get to bed, okay?" Um, so I would sew and sew for hours, and I would just listen to music or listen to podcasts, and so it became my way to like decompress.
mm,
My job, I'm one of the people who I've always had really positive um, corporate job experiences. So I've
mhm,
never had like conflict with managers or coworkers. It's always been great. So people are like, "Oh, did you leave your job because you were like, I have to get?" I'm like, "No, I actually had a really great experience."
mhm,
Um, but I also worked with someone who also experienced uh, a miscarriage, and I was able
mhm,
to kind of talk her through my experience and how I navigated and how I continue to navigate it. But yeah, sewing has been something that has been a source of um, it's a decompression activity for me. It has allowed me to be creative and to think more creatively, excuse me.
mhm, mhm,
Um, and it's almost like this string that has sewn me to new people. Um,
mm,
Especially like when I've had my store at a retail store in downtown Oakland. And I realized that having that retail store wasn't about the clothes. Like, yes, the clothes are there. Yes, I designed them. They're beautiful. I stand by the quality of our work. But what I realized was that that store ended up being like a healing space for people.
mm.
I can't tell you the number of times I cried in that space with women
Mm,
and prayed together in that space. Had to give women advice about what to do with their kids, and I had other people giving me advice because I throw my kids out the window. You know what I mean? Like it just became this safe space.
yeah,
So I realized that what I was doing was way bigger than clothes. Like the sewing is therapeutic for me, but
right.
the product of what I've created was healing for the community or has been
Mm.
healing for the community.
So in a sense, you're operating in your calling. Really, this is what God has at least desired for you to do during this time in
During
your
this season, I feel strongly by that about that because again, I have no formal training.
right.
And there was a period of time where I really suffered from imposter syndrome. So at the beginning, I wouldn't call myself a designer. Like literally, I would say I sew skirts. People are like, would you stop saying that? I'm like, I'm serious. I like know how to make one product. I am not a designer. And I would literally say, no, I'm not a designer. I'm not a designer. And then I'm like, you know what? God, you knew what you was doing. I am a designer.
That's right.
I am a designer. And um, and I'm gonna keep walking in this purpose that you have for me. And I realize again, it's not about the clothes. The clothes are a conduit to what he wants me to do and who he wants me to be connected to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say to women that are, they have a job
Mhm.
and but they still feel a tug? They're like, I know the Lord is asking me to do XYZ. But they're like, oh, but I don't have any training. Oh, I don't have any time. Oh, they make up all the excuses. But they know that that is what God is telling them to do.
So for me, I think it's easier. People have reasons. So I'm always a little hesitant to call things excuse because people have real reasons why they can't step out and do what they feel they've been called to do. I've been fortunate. I have a husband who we've been able to do, support in my exploratory phase, right? Some people don't have that. So
Hmm.
it'll be irresponsible of me to say, girl, just go out and do it. Because
Hmm.
some people don't have that, don't have the liberty to take that chance.
Hmm.
What I would say is don't ignore the calling God has on your life. If you are feeling a tug, don't ignore the tug. But I think that things can be done incrementally. If it is something, regarding starting a business,
Hmm.
you don't have to go out, quit your job, pursue candle making, and then realize, like, dang, this isn't turning out the way I wanted it to, or I
Right.
envisioned it. But you can say, I'm going to keep this stable 9 to 5, and then I'm going to make time because a lot of us are very busy and we don't have time, but we have to make the time. I'm going to make time to do this thing that I feel God is at how calling me to do. And
Hmm.
as you continue to do that, God will make a way so that you will be spending more and more time. And he'll
Hmm.
give you the resources so that you can pursue whatever it is, whether that's counseling, whether that's um, a new business, whether that's working with children in some aspect. He will make it such that you will have more time doing what he has purposed you to do and
Hmm.
provide you the stability to not struggle, but
Yeah.
well.
And, I'm so glad that you shared that wisdom because I was that girl or that woman or that wife where I could not step away for
Mm,
many of my jobs where I felt depressed or stressed
mm.
or depressed. I said it twice. But then there was a time when the door was open and I was able to finally step away when I needed to. Um, so I just appreciate the wisdom that you share. Like, yeah, girl, just step away. Maybe not just step away, but don't ignore it. Don't ignore the
Don't
don't.
ignore it. Yeah, don't ignore it.
Yeah, yeah. So how are you teaching your daughters and the women who follow you on your journey to walk boldly into who they are? Like, what are you telling T Faith in the twins.
Well, they have the luxury of watching me through the good and the bad. I'm not the mom that hides the tears. So they've seen the tears, they've seen the frustration, they've seen the celebrations and the accolades, and they've seen it all, right? And so I think the best thing I can do for my girls is to be authentically myself.
Mm,
I'm not going to pretend to have it all because I don't have it all. And
mhm,
still yet we are doing all right.
mhm,
Right. And
mhm,
so I don't pretend to know, but I do encourage them to inquire, ask questions,
mhm,
be loving, be kind to people. Like those type of things. Like, yes, I could teach you about business and all that, but like, where's your heart? Are you a good person? Are you kind? Are you respectful?
mhm,
Those are the things that I really want my girls to have.
mhm,
And whether they choose to pursue some career, entrepreneurship, I'm going to support them no matter what path they choose.
mhm,
Um, but I let them know, like, whatever you want to do, you can do. Right now, my husband and I are just in the phase of like exposing them to things. Some things they're bulking, they don't want to do. But as parents, I feel like my job and our job is to expose them. So we got
mhm.
them in all the sports. We got them in enrichment programs. They're like, dang, more school? Yes, more school. Let me show
Sounds like,
you, expose you to coding. You might not go into STEM field,
mhm,
but we're going to expose you to it. So I
yeah,
think right now, what I want my girls to know is whatever you want to do is possible. You have to believe in yourself. I'm always going to believe in you as your parent, as your mom. You have
mhm,
to believe in yourself. You have to put the effort forth. You
mhm,
have to try. You have to learn how to fall and get back up because at
mhm,
the end of the day, it is your life. You have to live with the decisions that you make. I'm here to guide you as your parent, and I'm going to love you and support you through your journey. Um, but be kind in the process. you know, watch your
mhm.
heart in the process.
Be kind is so powerful. It's
Yeah.
just it's two words, but it's very powerful. Um, Now, you often say that your brand is about confidence and culture connection. We talked a little bit about that. What legacy do you hope to leave through Love Iguehi?
Oh,
And even your story, your personal stories.
I think so often we as women, uh, we play small, we
Mm,
play safe, we are okay fading to the background.
mm,
And one of the things I say that our tagline for the brand is love the way you look, love the way you feel.
mm,
When you like the way that you look, you stand a little taller.
mhm,
Your shoulders are raised a little higher, and you just feel good inside.
mhm,
And so for me, what I'd like women, what the legacy of the brand to be, is to be that source of like encouragement for women to walk boldly, take up space, don't shrink. The brand has all these bold, colorful prints. So when you wear them, you're going to stand out,
yeah,
period. Whether you want to or not, you're going to stand out, right? And be okay with that.
yeah,
Be okay with shining because people will see a light on you. When you look good, you feel good, people see that and they gravitate to that. And so I want the brand to just be a source of light and energy and good feels and love for
yeah.
anyone who interacts with the brand. I really do.
And I'll say I'm a personal testimony, y'all. So you can't see it. Maybe I should take a picture afterwards. But this is actually a kimono and it goes all the way to the ground. My
Yeah,
husband, he saw me dressed, but he said, "Oh, girl, look at you look good, girl. You look good." And all I'm doing is sitting in the kitchen. But I look good and I feel good. And I remember like I wear this honestly on probably every most of my vacations that I
mm,
go on. I wear a bathing suit, I walk through the pool, and people are like, where the heck did you get that? What? Girl, you look good. Random folks.
I love it.
And but it makes you feel good. And then you can just sit back on the beach and just be like, I'm just gonna.
Mhm. The clothes are spoken for you. You don't even
Yeah,
have to say it a lot. You
yeah,
know, they say I have arrived and you're gonna see me.
yeah, yep,
That's it.
yeah. It
That's it.
makes you, it also makes you, like you said, stand tall. But for me, it also is like, because I used to wear black a lot. I
Mm.
used to hide a lot, even in my 20s. Like I've always been like a vibrant person,
Yeah, your personality
but
is so big and bubbly and bold.
I used to wear black all the time. And
Wow.
I feel like in the past 5 to 7 years, I've really been able to dive into like the colors that
Okay.
match my personality. So
Mm.
like this, I don't know that I would have worn it in my 20s because I was scared. But I feel like as I've grown as a woman and as a professional and as a mother, I want to feel not only feel comfortable in my own skin, but I just want to be who I am. But I also want, like you said, my kids not to be scared to just be who they are. And
Yes.
so my closet is not black anymore. It is full of every color of the rainbow.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
So
I,
it's been a growth process for sure. But I do appreciate my Love Iguehi prints. I've got more than this. I got me a scarf. I got a head wrap. I got some stuff, y'all. Um, yeah. So let me ask you two more questions.
okay.
If you could describe your journey in one word or phrase today, what would it be and why?
My word will probably be, I don't know if I like this evolving, but I feel like that's so predictable. Let's see.
It's if it's evolving, it's evolving.
Journey yeah, it's been an evolution, but I feel like that explains what a journey is. It evolves. That's kind of what happens. But I think there's been a lot of growth. So growth, maybe that's my word.
Okay.
Growth. Yeah. And why? I think that especially now that I'm in my 40s, I have become more more confident in who I am, what I like and what I don't, and I can speak
Mhm,
very confidently to those things. I care
mhm.
less about what other people think. Not that I don't care about other people. I do care about other
Right.
people, but I also have this realization that especially as people are passing around me, like you get one life
Mhm.
and I have to live with the decisions I make for myself.
Yeah.
And that's really all that matters. Like, yes, I want to do right by everyone and be everything for everyone, but you can't, right? And so um I want to make sure my house is good and I'm good. Those are the main main my main priority. And that took growth to like understand. It took growth to understand that the things that I liked early in my entrepreneur journey, I'm not really too fond of anymore
Mhm.
where I am now.
Yeah.
And this isn't it for me. And it
Mm.
may look different in the next 5 years, 2
Right.
years, and I'm okay with that. I think sometimes we get so stuck in a thing, in a place, in an
Mhm.
identity that prevents us from, like, evolving, which is why I first said evolve, but, like, I think I've just experienced a sense of growth that allows me to be okay with changing, be okay with saying no, be okay with, um, being focused on my family and me.
Mhm.
And I didn't always feel that way, so
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of us as women that feel that way and or have felt that way. Um, so I
what's the
applaud
word
you.
that what's the word that you would use?
Oh goodness, girl, that's a good question. Now let's see. Hmm. Hmm. I can't use growth. Okay. Um. um.
You can use growth, you just gotta explain.
I would say lean in.
Mm.
Lean in. I have run for a very long time. A long, 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 long time.
Run
From
away. Okay,
the
you're gonna
calling that's,
explain.
yeah, the
Okay.
calling that's in my life, ministry. Um, and we get one life, and we're either obedient and doing what he's asked for us to do, or we're not.
Yeah.
And we tend to, and I've seen it with other people, tend to thrive more in that thrive. And I'm not necessarily just talking financially. I'm talking about
Yep.
feeling whole and um, doing just yeah. It could be feeling whole. It could be contributing to the community, whatever it is. But we tend to thrive more when we are obedient to what God has called us to do.
Yeah.
Um, and so I feel less weight, physically, mentally, spiritually, as I lean into God being like, yeah, I'm just going to give you little baby steps. I'm not going to let you see the whole thing. I'm just going to give you little baby steps.
Hmm.
Um, and as I lean in, we're just going to have faith that things will grow. But it's been an interesting journey because it's like I would lean in a little bit. I would put my feet in the water a little bit, and then I'd be like, no, I'm good. Just kidding. I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Or make my own recipe,
Yep.
make my own recipe.
Yep. Hmm. Yep.
So I like that. I like that.
Amen.
So what's next for Iguehi?
I get asked that question all the time. And
Do
to
you?
be honest, I don't. I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm still
Mhm,
trying to figure things out. I'm open to new opportunities.
mhm,
I know as mentioned to you when we did our pre-call, I was like, I love this, but if I'm being honest, business is tough. It's tough
mhm,
having a business. I love it. But who know? I don't know what the
mhm,
next phase of Iguehi is and what that looks like. But I'm open. I'm open to doing this more. I'm open to doing something else. I think like you, I have faith that God has this worked out. And while I can't see the road ahead, I trust and believe that he is not going to have me. I
Just out here,
don't know. Right.
just out here
I
chilling.
think, I think things, no matter what happens, things will be good. I've
Yeah.
been good. I'll continue to be good. But what is next? I don't know. I honestly,
Mhm,
that's the honest answer.
yeah. And
Honest.
it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I feel like you, like in this age of 40 plus, that I am just like, it's like he gives me a glimpse and I just follow, like I said, the small steps.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, I'm like, I have no idea what's going to be, what this even, the coach's kitchen, what it will look like in a year. I have no idea. I have no idea what my coaching business will look like. I have
Yeah.
no idea like what necessarily I'll be doing. Like I just don't, you don't know. And it's very different than when I was like in my early 20s where I was like, I'm going to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. That's what I'm going to be doing. And that's that. And
Yep.
it didn't happen.
Yeah. And then you live life. And then you're like, oh, okay. Things things are a little different.
Hmm.
I know for me, what I've realized that no matter what I do, um, I think my purpose is to empower women and to connect with women. Like I really feel strongly about that. So when I think about my career path, even when I was in corporate America and being in a position where I was a connector to physicians and patients and staff, like I realized that every point in the journey, no matter what I was doing, whether that be in corporate America or in entrepreneurship, that purpose was still the same. So
Yeah.
how it's executed, I don't know. But I think that even if Love Iguehi remains and I do this from here on to infinity, or if I
Mhm.
do something else, that purpose of connecting with women, creating space,
Yeah.
creating um, being a voice will always be there. It's just a matter of how we deliver that or how I deliver that. So,
You're so peaceful to talk to. I appreciate you joining us today or tonight or this afternoon. I really enjoy you sharing your truth. How can people connect with you, find Love Iguehi,
yeah.
and
So,
or just Iguehi?
how are you going? I'm on Facebook. But if you don't know me in real life, let's just keep it on Love. So, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. The business is Love Iguehi, and that's LoveIguehi. That's the business. And then for personal, I am on Facebook as Iguehi James. So yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and then I have a website which is loveiguehi.com. So very, very simple.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you especially to Iguehi for joining us this evening. I want to thank everyone for pulling up a seat to the coach's kitchen. If anything was stirred inside you, tag us, share the episode, tag Leslie Nicole Speaks, and or tck.live on IG. Let the people know what's cooking. Iguehi has shared some of her recipes for her success. And we would just love for you to share this episode. If you're ready to stop carrying the weight alone, I'd love to walk with you through customized one-on-one coaching. I help women find clarity, balance, and courage to really show up for themselves. So let's stitch your next chapter together. See what I did there? Ah, it's wonderful. So anyway, remember this is where wholeness gets cooked slowly. And girl, your breakthrough is always welcome here. Until next time, stay bold and stay whole. We appreciate you joining in. And thanks again, Iguehi, for joining us.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night.
Night, everyone.